area where electronic devices stop working, a place where birds fall to the ground for no reason, and a mystical cave with its secrets. Is there a reasonable explanation for all these oddities? You're about to find out. This is Infinity, and in this episode you'll see 9 places that are even more mysterious than the Bermuda Triangle. Let's go. Develis Cave. The mysterious cave is not far from Athens. It's located in Mount Penteli, which translates as the Gate of the End. In fact, the cave is relatively small. It's a grotto with multiple passages. In the 5th century, Develis Cave was a place of worship and later became the favorite of all monks and hermits. The name was given to it in honor of a bandit who was constantly making his way to his beloved through these passages. I can tell a long story about the history of the cave, but the most interesting thing still lies in its mystical past. The cave was closed to public access in 1977. They began to work on expanding the passages but soon stopped. They stopped in such a way that the workers fled, leaving all their expensive equipment inside. The cave was reopened to the public after this situation, and people rushed to explore the area. And what they began to find there was truly frightening. A cache was found inside the cave that contained some kind of medicine. Electronics would stop working. Witnesses would encounter strange dark creatures, and those who were unluckier than the rest would either return and no longer be themselves, or they'd stay in the cave forever and no one would see them. Jatinga Village. The village of Jatinga is often referred to as the Valley of the Falling Birds. The site's a small depression surrounded by slopes and dense forests around its perimeter. This place was first discovered in 1957. Then the researchers were able to personally witness a mysterious phenomenon that occurs over the village to this day. The birds seem to lose control and crash to the ground en masse. Once the researcher told the others about it, almost no one believed him. However, the small part of the scientists who found some truth in his words went with him and were surprised. Birds did fall, and most curiously, many of them survived. However, the birds were in a semi-conscious state, not even eager to get out of the hands of humans. There's no logical explanation for this phenomenon. Some believe that the Almighty rewards people for their righteousness this way. After all, none of the people who lived there had ever committed any significant crime. And what do you think? Can we find a rational explanation for this phenomenon? Or are we faced with a real mysticism? The Valley of the Kings in Egypt. The next place has been continuously attracting tourists from all over the world for many decades. This is not surprising because there were buried many pharaohs, including King Tut. However, not only this fact attracts tourists, some of them come to the valley because of the mystical things, namely because of the curse of the King Tut's tomb. For the first time, they talked about the phenomenon in 1922. Then, a group of scientists opened the tomb and strange things began to happen there. One of the main researchers died of pneumonia. A few years later, the death toll had grown to 36. Curiously enough, each of them was directly involved in the discovery of the tomb. If rumors are to be believed, the curse can only be lifted if people put every single treasure back in its place. The Winchester Mystery House. And this place is literally the fruit of human labor and belief in the paranormal activity. Once upon a time, there lived a wealthy family, the Winchesters. Sarah had lost her husband and was left all alone. Nevertheless, she was warmed by the money she had inherited from her rich spouse. The woman was already thinking about where to spend it, but then something happened that few expected. Ghosts began to come to her regularly in her dreams and say that they would kill her if she didn't comply with their request. They demanded she start building a house. Moreover, it was important that the construction didn't stop for a single day. The process began and eventually led to the fact that the house had 160 rooms, 40 stairs, 2,000 doors, 10,000 windows, and 47 fireplaces. The woman herself didn't know all the corridors and labyrinths built inside. Do you think Sarah went crazy, or did she do the right thing by listening to the ghosts and breaking the curse? Share your thoughts in the comments. The next place is in the United States and is a rock of surprisingly regular shape, consisting of numerous columns with sharp corners. This rock's about 200 million years old. Once there was a huge volcano in its place, but now there's a unique and mysterious natural monument, surrounded by pine forests, meadows, and wetlands. Interest in Devil's Tower arose because of its regular shape. People began to think that nature couldn't accidentally create such a rock. It's believed that the devil himself had a hand in it. Moreover, the locals even have an alternative legend about it. If you believe it, then once upon a time, 7 girls in the woods were attacked by huge bears. Children ran, but the giants were running fast and almost caught up with them. At this point, the girls climbed up on what was then a very small rock and began to say prayers to the green Native American spirit. As you can guess, the prayers were answered and the rock suddenly began to grow. When it rose to the sky, the girls became stars, and the bears were left with nothing. It's an interesting legend. Remember the saying, lightning never strikes twice in the same place?
Okay, because lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place.
Well, forget it, it's all a hoax. There is such a place as the Catatumbo River, and more than 1 million lightning strikes occur there every year. This became real thanks to the atmospheric phenomenon occurring over its mouth. Predominantly at night, for more than 10 hours, there are constantly lightning strikes. In an hour, you can witness 280 flashes. The number of lightning days per year varies from 70 to 200. Each of these flashes can be clearly seen as much as 250 miles away. Hundreds of years ago, sailors called this place Maracaibo Beacon because it helped them navigate at night. So many mysteries and the very essence of the phenomenon are unique. Moreover, scientists are still unable to unequivocally explain this phenomenon. Silent Zone. For more than 100 years, the so-called Silent Zone in Mexico has been considered one of the most anomalous places on the planet, which mystery has not been solved. The entire area of this desert is like a magnet, attracting a bunch of paranormal activity. Locals regularly witness UFOs. At night, you can see strange bright lights in the sky. And every year, everyone is able to witness the fall of a new meteorite. Actually, this area attracts not only meteorites. There was a case where scientists launched a rocket, and it, in turn, veered off course and fell just on the Silent Zone. By the way, the place got its name due to the fact that here, radios go dead and no TV can receive any programs. The Eternal Flame Falls. Who would have thought that not only humans, but also Mother Nature could light the eternal flame? In the depths of Chestnut Ridge Park near Buffalo, state of New York, a flame burns. What makes this fire unique is its location, which is under a waterfall. Why does gas come from somewhere there? How does it work at all? And how did such a phenomenon appear? Scientists cannot give an exact answer to all these questions. However, the fact remains that if you periodically ignite the gas coming out of there, then this flame can be maintained permanently, and thus have a truly eternal and natural fire. The island of the dolls I'm about to tell you now is located in Mexico. This place differs from the others at least because of the fact that people are personally familiar with its mysticism. The founder of this place is a certain Julian Santana Barrera, a man who lived on the island for many years. It turns out that he personally filled the entire area with different dolls, and not the ones that come to your mind, but creepy ones with eyes gouged out. Why'd the man decide to do such a thing? There are several theories. According to the most popular, Barrera had a crazy wife who was very afraid of all these dolls. When she passed away, the spirit began to come to her husband, and he, in turn, fled to the island and protected himself with a large number of dolls. The second version says that there was once a mass drowning of people in these channels. Since then, their earthbound spirits have been roaming the island, and Barrera settled on the island and found a way to fend them off with the help of the dolls. Well, according to the third version, when Barrera arrived on the island, he witnessed the drowning of a girl. The man tried to save her, but failed. He couldn't sleep properly for a long time and blamed himself for the incident. Besides, her spirit began to come to him in his dreams. Trying to appease the girl's spirit, he set up one doll as a monument to her, and that helped. Barrera then began to fill the island with dolls to be able to move around normally. As you can see, all the versions have to do with protecting the humans from something paranormal. In any case, tourists often visit the island of the dolls, and some of them also talk about strange sensations, as if someone is watching them or getting into their head. Maybe Barrera wasn't crazy. That's all, guys. What place surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you later.